Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Rachel.
I'm Sadie.
And today we are going to be sharing a video on the dangers of being ambitious. And so we're really excited to get into this. We hope you watch the whole way through because that might turn people off.
Right.
Like, girls are like, ambition's a good thing, right? So we hope you watch and we can't wait to talk about it. So let's get to it.
Okay, so like always, I'm gonna hop right in with a couple verses, but the first one comes from Ephesians 6, verses 6 through 7, and it says, "Obey them not only to win their favor when their eye is on you, but as slaves of Christ, doing the will of God from your heart. Serve wholeheartedly as if you were serving the Lord and not people." And the next verse is Colossians 3:23, and it says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord and not human masters." So pretty much what those both are saying is do everything for God and not for people and not for man, which is so countercultural because we're told do everything for the accolades of people and like post it on Instagram and have like high honors in school so that it can be like shared with people. And like those are all good things, but like why are we doing them?
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, ambition is and can be an idol. And a lot of people believe that being ambitious and working harder and doing more and putting in all those extra hours, those are the only way to get the most out of life. Right. And working hard is great. It's just, it shouldn't be idolized. That shouldn't become your entire life. You know, where is God in that? Where are all the other responsibilities and calls God's given to you? Are you ignoring God's call and not letting room for Him because you're so dedicated to work? You're so much, you're idolizing work, really. Yeah, like to put it simply. Yeah.
And so it can be like work also, it can be academics, it can be like the amount of like clubs you're in or the amount of like things you're putting on your resume too. And so I think a lot of times like I call it boss babe culture and I don't actually know if anyone else calls it that, but it's like these girls that are so ambitious and they're like, I don't need anybody, I just need all of my successes and that's that. But honestly, like boss babe culture is forcing people to kind of feel the need to always like be more and do more, and like we've both fallen into that where we'll literally text each other and just be like, I can't do another thing because I'm going crazy. But there's this like external like cultural force kind of like pushing us into this this mold is honestly what it is, that says you need to do all these things or you're not worth anything, and that's not true at all. And so that's kind of like one of the biggest dangers of like this ambition like idolization.
Yeah, and I think something I've had to notice is that there is happiness and there is success in simplicity. You know, your success doesn't have to be starting a whole mission or starting a whole ministry or having thousands of people follow you or millions or making all this money. Your success can be in the small everyday things, and you can have a life of success built up by those small things. It doesn't have to be one big thing. And in the simplicity, it can be success in serving your family well, serving your friends well, your church, loving others well, you know, just having a life of dedication to Christ, being a prayer warrior, you know, just being willing to step back and wait for God's call and listen and obey it, whether it's huge or whether it's small.
Also, this is not like a video saying like don't work, because work is also a commandment in the Bible, and like Adam was literally placed in the garden to work, and financial security is great, and like all of these things are not what we're talking against. We're just talking about this forced idea that you have to do everything to be something, because that's not true. And so like also we need to just realize, like the scripture said, like, are we working for God or working for man? And so like in our own hearts, we need to kind of have this reflection period of who am I being ambitious for? Is it for the fact that a lot of people are going to tell me great job and like pat me on the back? Is it so I can see my name like on a billboard or like in a program at graduation with like, you know, like high honor is next to it.
Yeah,
like
giving the speech or
yeah, like I mean those things are all great, but that's not what we should be working towards, and it shouldn't be for people to say to us like, great job. It's honestly like all for God's glory. And if you are lucky enough to have your name like in lights, or you're lucky enough to like make millions of dollars, or you're lucky enough to have like any of these successes, it's all because of God, and it's all for God.
Yeah, completely. And it's important, like Sadie said, to ask, who are we being ambitious for? But then also, who are we working hard to impress, like she said? And is it people, or is it God? Like, are we working for God, really? And we don't need to build up our success based on the earthly, worldly definition of it. And I think that's something I've fallen into in the past is, like she said, like my definition of success gets warped into money or fame or reputation or followers or something else. And that's not success. Success is serving God where he puts us, when he says, in being faithful in it. Even if it's not grand, even if it's not big, it still is for him, because we are serving him in the way he's called us to. And I think that's really important to remember, is that it's sinful to put our vision of success, our vision of accomplishment above what God has for us. Because to the earth, these things may all look big and grand, but what about the heavenly perspective of maybe it's in the small witnessing on the day-to-day scale, not the what I did on the big scale, like all these accomplishments I have to my name or any of those. And I think it's important to ask, like, when I die, do I want to be known for my money, my fame, my success, my grades in school, or being the most beautiful, or do I want to be known in heaven for my work for the Lord that was unseen and unknown by the earth, but the things I was doing to serve God in the day-to-day? Yeah.
So good. And it's so true. And that like kind of goes into this next point, but it's like, are you asking God what his vision is for your life? Because it's not just like this one and done thing where like God gives you a vision and you're like, all right, well that's it, I'm never going to revisit this. It's like, are you asking him to like revise and like give you his eyes so that you can know like what he's calling you to do? And are you working for his kingdom and for his glory? Because even like, okay, honestly, like we both do ministry, and I've even like caught myself before totally like going rogue and not doing it like for God. And I'm just like, yeah, like this is going so great, and like look, we like made new followers, or like, oh, this person was so touched by my words. It's not my words. It's literally, this is like God just put us in this position, and like he allowed us to like start this platform to share him ultimately. And so 100%, it's like a big old check, and sometimes you're like, ooh, I am humbled. But that's really like the truth of the matter. So
and there's nothing wrong like with having goals, with doing well. We don't want this to come across as that, because I feel like we're both like goal-getter types, like, but what's important is to ask yourself the why. What is the why behind what I'm doing? Is it for God, or is it for something else that's earthly?
Because like, I don't know, we talk a lot about like personal ambition and like it taking away from what God is trying to do. And obviously like Rachel and I have talked about control issues that we both have, but like as sinners and like as people, no matter who you are, you want control out of some aspect of your life. But a lot of times we tend to kind of take away what God has given us by trying to rule it ourselves. And we're like, like we just talked about with this ministry, like there have been so many times where like, what are we doing? And we have to be like, okay, wait, like we need to sit down and like pray about this and like honestly ask God to show us what we're doing, because it's not us that's leading the way. So pretty much to sum it up, I guess, it's just like let God lead and then choose to follow.
Exactly. I think you can't get a much better summary than that. So that's our video for today. And we're happy you guys joined us. Hit like, hit subscribe below. And we're excited to see you guys again soon. So, bye guys.
Bye.